Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. The Russos and Robert Downey Jr. released their very cryptic and kind of lackluster, infuriating Avengers Doomsday teaser this week that wound up being part of an elaborate coffee pop-up shop they baked a bunch of plot and backstory from the movie into in what has to be one of the wildest attempts at teasing details and backstory for the movie that you wouldn't see in an actual trailer. This is just the beginning. I can't wait to see how weird they're going to get with this whole Avengers Doomsday press tour this year with all the different actors. If you remember Infinity War and Endgame, it got pretty weird during those eras. At their panel that same day, Robert Downey Jr. also gave a very strange statement about the movie, about Doomsday, saying that they were taking things back to zero, like they were bringing things back to zero at Marvel for the film. This is the clip of his speech.
Tell me, I'm just curious, somebody asked us a question a couple weeks ago, and I'm gonna get your answer to this, but who's more powerful, is it Thanos or Dr. Doom?
Well, I do have the green pop screen on my mic, don't I? Hey, it's just great to see you. This is our social life, by the way. This is how we hang out. I think about this too, and I think this movie works so well because Thanos is so formidable. And so what we've been laboring long and hard over for the thanks for wearing that mask, dude. Yeah, what's up, Jake?
Keep it on.
How do you, we can't beat it, we can't stand on the shoulders of these giants of Infinity War and Endgame. So we're literally zeroing out the board and we're gonna try to earn your trust and respect all over again. And with the likes of these fellas, I think we got a pretty good shot.
What I think he means is that Marvel, the Russos, the other actors, didn't want Avengers Doomsday to feel like it was just the latest Marvel slop, and they didn't want it to seem like a softball pitch of a big crossover movie. Like, look at the comic book accurate X-Men that we're bringing back from the classic movies, the Fantastic Four, the Avengers are here, we're going to do a bunch of crossover slop. They didn't want the movie to turn into nostalgia bait or like a version of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness where like the crossover doesn't pay off even though they use it to sell the movie so hard. So when he says they're taking things back to zero and earning back fans' trust, even though Kevin Feige said that they're doing a soft reboot of the MCU after Secret Wars, I don't think that Robert Downey Jr. was specifically saying that they were literally taking the MCU back to zero in the sense of actual reboot. What he probably meant was taking things back to zero in the sense that they're treating this like it were the very first MCU Marvel movie that like a fan might walk into the theater and watch. Like, what if you'd never watched any Marvel movies before this?
Please, you think I haven't seen Dr. Ant and the Quantum Burst of Madness?
Kind of the way the first Iron Man movie was the first traditional MCU movie, not the first Marvel movie, but the modern MCU started with that Iron Man movie. Even though a lot of people will also point out that technically them bringing Blade into Deadpool and Wolverine canonizes that first Blade movie to the MCU, making it the first actual MCU movie. But you know what I'm talking about here. After that first Iron Man movie, it took Marvel years and years of bangers to build the fandom for the MCU to being like such a large cultural juggernaut, and they're trying to do that same thing, restart that engine with Avengers Doomsday. Moving on to the bigger teasers for actual Avengers Doomsday in the merch for this big coffee pop-up shop. They're all specific to Doctor Doom's character with some of his backstory with Pedro Pascal's Reed Richards. I think that they're mostly just meant to tell you more about Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom backstory, background details that the movie might not necessarily have time for because there's so much stuff happening in this movie. Even though it's going to be over 3 hours long, they're not going to be able to fit everything into this movie. On the prices board, it says Dom Latveria, and that's the name of the coffee shop, and it's meant to be named as if it were an actual in-universe coffee shop inside Latveria where Doctor Doom rules. Below it says Richards was wrong, which I think is kind of funny. It's a reference to Doctor Doom calling out Pedro Pascal's Reed Richards over the incursions and their competing theories over why the multiverse is collapsing in the first place and how to save it. This is also connected to Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars and Time Runs Out, because during it, Doctor Doom has the same kind of argument with the other characters, and during the finale of Time Runs Out, Doctor Strange specifically, before Doom becomes God Emperor Doom and creates Battleworld in his last-ditch effort to save the multiverse. During the MCU version of this, Avengers Doomsday, they've changed the Jonathan Hickman Time Runs Out plot. Now it's only 3 worlds that are colliding with each other during an incursion, and it's the main 616 MCU universe, the X-Men's world, and the Fantastic Four's 828 Earth. There was like a promo that they released for this that shows 3 versions of Earth colliding with each other. While this is happening, the incursion is happening. In the leaked CinemaCon trailer, Doctor Doom was on the X-Men's world at the X-Mansion with them telling Professor X, something is coming, something we may not be able to deter. Before this day is done, we shall be faced with an unthinkable decision. And he's giving a very thick Eastern European accent in the movie. He sounds nothing like his Tony Stark.
Tony Stark,
Iron,
the most
whatever.
famous mass murderer.
How do you feel?
So when it says Richards was wrong here on the board, this is just part of the idea that his Doctor Doom comes into this movie with very different ideas about how to stop the incursions and save the multiverse. So there's a bunch of other Easter eggs on the menu here too. All these characters are Latverian characters. They're just translated to Dom Latveria Coffee, like what it says up here in English, and the bird symbol is from the Latverian flag. Fortunov is a reference to Vladimir Fortunov and the Fortunov family. They were previously the ruling line of kings in Latveria before Doctor Doom took the throne. The Fortunovs persecuted the Romani, and Doctor Doom's father, Werner von Doom, was hired by King Fortunov to heal his wife, the queen. When he failed, he had to flee to the Latverian Alps with his wife and son, Doctor Doom. Many years later, Doctor Doom seeks retribution on the Fortunovs by killing them and taking the throne from them. That's how he became the king of Latveria. Then the rapprochement here is a reference to the Latverian festival that Doom creates the same name in his mother's honor in Fantastic Four Special Number 1, and it's called a holiday where each Latverian is required to reach out to someone he has wronged, which is a reference to his relationship with Reed Richards. So it winds up leading to a truce that Doctor Doom makes with Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four. And I think this is meant to be a reference to Robert Downey Jr.'s version of Doctor Doom in the movie, putting aside his hatred of Reed Richards in the movie to try and work with all the heroes to save the multiverse, despite the fact that by the end he will ultimately wind up fighting them. Like, technically he is the antagonist of this movie, but he doesn't view himself as the antagonist of the movie. He believes that he is the hero of the story. It's like Thanos during Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. He thought that he was saving the universe by snapping away half of all life, and the rest of the heroes were trying to stop him from doing that, so they were the villains, not him. Cynthia's blend is just meant to be a reference to Doom's mother, Cynthia Von Doom, who was Romani. Her soul was taken by Mephisto as part of a bargain she made with him for power to defeat the Fortunovs who were persecuting her people. So that was the price that she paid. Her soul was taken to hell. Doctor Doom's entire reason for becoming a master of magic and technology when he was younger was to find a way to save his mother from Mephisto. It's the reason why he wound up at college with Reed Richards and the other Fantastic Four. It was the reason why he got his face blown up by Mephisto, where his scars came from. He used a magic spell to peer into Mephisto's hell dimension to find his mother. Mephisto then tried to scare him off.
Guilty as charged.
Many years later, he makes a truce with Doctor Strange as frenemies for the purpose of going to the Hell Dimension to kill Mephisto and rescue his mother. Triumph and Torment was an amazing comic book. Hopefully they can adapt that into a movie someday, but I don't think that we're going to see any of that stuff in the movie. Maybe they'll just reference his past trauma. There's also been references to Doctor Doom in the movie having lost a wife and child to the incursions and blaming that on Captain America. So that's like a whole different thing that they're just creating for the movie itself that isn't part of the original comics. I'm not expecting Mephisto to show up during Avengers Doomsday, Sacha Baron Cohen's version, so I'm not expecting to get a whole bunch of references to Doom's mother during this movie. But like I said, Marvel just introduced the MCU version of Mephisto with Sacha Baron Cohen in Ironheart. It's more likely that they'll continue his story with that Ironheart subplot in future Young Avengers or Champion storylines, wherever she comes back, because she made the pact with him and is using his cape with her armor suit. So they're just going to have to follow up with whatever she does in the future. Zafiro is just the name of the Romani clan that Doctor Doom's mother comes from, and Hasendad is just the original name of the capital city of Latveria. When Doctor Doom took the throne and renamed it Doomstad, it was in honor of his mother, not himself, even though he is a very self-interested person. We will see how they change this for the movies with Robert Downey Jr.'s version, but at least in the comics, the two biggest things that Doctor Doom is obsessed with is his mother first, then Reed Richards after that. Then everything else is like a vast third after those two things. All the special Avengers Doomsday hype that the Russos and Robert Downey Jr. were creating at this event was part of a panel they were doing for Avengers Infinity War, and while they were there, they did a bunch of Avengers Doomsday stuff, and it's all meant to eventually lead up to the re-release of Avengers Endgame in theaters with the additional material they're adding to it. I'm guessing there's only going to be like 5 minutes of extra footage, and it'll just be like a post-credit scene with Captain America, Steve Rogers, to explain the beginning of Avengers Doomsday, like how that all goes down. Just imagine a longer version of that attached to the end of Avengers Endgame with maybe a little bit of Loki's stuff because of what's happening with God Loki in the multiverse tree. Short term, though, one of the reasons why they're not releasing more Avengers Doomsday footage is because they're mostly worried about Spider-Man Brand New Day. We're supposed to get a brand new trailer for that in the next couple weeks before the end of the month. I think they might attach it to like Toy Story 5 or one of the other big Disney-related movies, maybe even the Supergirl movie.
Your powers are going to start kicking in right about...
Marvel and Sony want that to be like another billion-dollar-plus movie, so like most of their creative energy for like all their marketing is just focused on that intently. They really, really want people to go see that movie in July. It is also the last big movie before Avengers Doomsday, so it's their last time to do a big teaser attached to that as well. Everybody post all your reactions in the comments below, and let me know if you spotted any Easter eggs or references, or you have questions that I didn't address during this video. There are a couple other real big Masters of the Universe videos that I'm working on, post-credit scenes, all that stuff, so be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss those videos. Everybody click here and here for all those new trailers and those new videos. I'll update the link as soon as I post those. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.